Sumo. Hi everyone, I'm Crow77. Today we're going to take a look at a Paifu. That is a review of someone's game to, look at mistakes and that sort of thing. Now, most of these games come from my viewers, so if you're interested in getting in on the action, take a look in the description. We have a Discord server where you can just submit games that you want to. Now, there's also a Patreon if you don't want to wait in the queue and want to get right to the top of the list. So, without any further ado, remember to like and subscribe, and let's take a look at the game. Okay, so our next Paifu here is from one of our Patreons. So they are a player in ARML, that is the American Riichi Mahjong League. The big difference with that versus online games is, one, you have an objective that's more than just placement to get like an overall higher standing in the league, and second, there's no red fives. So some of the plays that I recommend might be a bit more aggressive than I would otherwise recommend for normal online play. So that's something to keep an eye out for. They're not sure what they want to work on at this point. Their three biggest struggles, according to them right now, are a low call rate, failing to build enough value, and bad push-fold judgment, and a little bit of efficiency. So we are starting in the north seat, which with this sort of thing can be a little bit rough. It's kind of the worst position for any sort of tournament-style game, but we'll get to that later if it matters. So let's take a look. Okay, so starting right off with this hand, obviously the 1, 2, 4, 5 shape is not perfect by any means. So we're going to look to get rid of that if we can, but starting with the honor cuts is probably fine here. Yep, good. We already have one of those cut, which is a little bit awkward, but we don't really have value if we call either, which is also a little bit awkward. There's potential for one Dora. It's not a lot, but with no red fives and everything, hand values are just going to be lower overall. So from right here, we probably should chi this, because the Dora isn't going to come out very often. So we missed a chi right there, I think. Basically, we chi there, probably discarding the 9 pin, looking to call on the east, but if it doesn't come out, we can always switch up to a Tanyao later. So we don't kind of close that off just yet. But yeah, always want to call on the Dora there, I think. Yeah, that's fine here. Okay, so we keep the Ryokan here. I don't like that as much because we do have 4 pairs in this shape right now. So 4 isn't a lot. It's not like we're hard committing for Chitoi or anything just yet. But I don't think we lose a lot in efficiency by discarding this 2 instead. So I'd probably drop the 2, keep the 8 just for that extra kind of hand flexibility. Not necessarily efficiency, though it might technically be more efficient. It's really about that flexibility depending on what we draw next. Okay, taking the pawn here is fine. I don't see any issue with that. Again, probably discarding the 2, yeah. No problem there. Okay, so then 5, yep. No problem. Yeah. And there's not really any indicator that they're dangerous. Like, there's definitely a good chance they're in 10 pi, obviously, they just wronged us. But with the Dora discard, I'm not too worried about the value of their hand. And yeah, sure enough, it's 1,000 points. So no harm, no foul, really. 1,000 points is not the end of the world by any means. Sometimes you just deal into those. Okay, so pretty standard again for this starting hand. We could end up with some kind of messed up Chanta. I just realized the east is Dora, so this is kind of perfect actually. We don't want to call too aggressively, because even though we want to call with 2 Dora if we can, we're pretty much only calling an east wind at this point. Because if we call something else like the 1, 2, 3 or something here, the problem is we can end up in a position where no one wants to discard that Dora into us anymore. Because it could become very obvious that we need a Yakuhai of some kind, and with the Dora being a Yakuhai, no one's going to want to discard it. So we're trying to keep this hand concealed as much as possible unless we can get that east wind. Yep, nice shape upgrade there, and there's the east, so yeah, we snap take that, no problem. Yeah, that chi's fine. Ideally, I like to hold on to the 6, 7, 7, 8, 9 shape, just because there's quite a few ways to make a pair off of it. But the cheese fine. There's no problem there. We end up in a double Ryanman headless shape, which is very efficient for hitting tenpai. So no problem there. Now everyone's going to be a little bit scared of us at this point. I'd be surprised if people push too aggressively, but as they say that, that's some pretty aggressive pushing into us. The 6 doesn't look too bad against us, to be fair. So it's what it is. We just weren't fast enough. I didn't see anything major there that was a problem. Okay, so we're in third position now. Oh, I forgot to mention. So this player is kind of in need of a pretty big boost to their score at this point. They're about 120,000 points overall down in the standings to where they want to be at promotion level for this league. So it is something to keep in mind. If we see the option to run up the score, we're probably going to want to try to push for that. Yeah, that's fine. Obviously, ideal is we pair the Dora here. But we're probably going to play for efficiency to try to shut down the hand if we need to. Yep, that's fine. That's kind of an awkward one. I feel like I almost want to drop the 6 here. The 6 pin. We drop the 8. I don't dislike the 8, honestly. I think the 8 might be slightly better than the 6 here, though, and I get why we don't want to drop the Dora. So I'd probably drop the 6 first, just because the 9 does connect with a lot of the things the 6 does here. And the 8 is very good if we draw the 7, though I guess we are after a pair here, but we really want the pair to be our Dora. I'm very ambivalent about this one. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either, if that makes any sense at all. Okay. Yes, good. And now we're going to end up in that situation where we might have to pick if we want a Dora Tonki or not, but it looks like we are going to commit for the Dora Tonki, which is interesting. Okay, now we're not committed anymore. Kind of a weird back and forth here. And Toyman's looking very dangerous at this point. So worth noting, against this kind of hand, Nakasuji doesn't work. So the 6 looks pretty safe, but it's not necessarily. Yeah, there's just really not much we can do. We don't want to discard the Dora here. Almost assuredly, like we're dropping the South right here, but we have to be looking ahead to what are we doing for the next couple discards. It is fine, it's Genbutsu. And here's the awkward draw. I want to discard the 2 pin here. I don't like the 6, so I like the 2 pin because there's only 1 3 left, and the 2 just passed. And I would have gotten punished. Fair enough. So here we take the Dora Tonki, I guess. Like, it's never going to be discarded by anyone except for maybe Toyman. But I think it's still fine to push this hand at this point, especially since we need that more aggressive stuff like I was talking about. This one's fine. Fine. Ah, and they just drew it before us. And yeah, sure enough, they were waiting on the pair of 9s there. So like I was saying, we didn't want to discard the Dora in that situation. We pretty much had it stuck in our hand, and it is what it is. They got there first. Okay. Another thing worth noting is this is a Tamahane. If we both were to win off something, like if the player to our right had discarded the 9 there, it would actually go to our opponent because they're next in turn order. Alright, this hand is an awkward one though. So, not great shapes, 3 pairs, but we have a pair of Dora. So we want to try to speed this up as much as possible, and it looks like we are going for straight efficiency here. What can we do with this though? I guess it's Chitoi. I'm in a position where if the 4 or the 6 comes out, I probably pawn it though. This is all fine. Just playing for efficiency, like I said. And that's not good for us. Yeah, not much to do here. Just drop the 6 pin. Yep. Yeah, nothing we could do there. That's fine. Okay, another mediocre hand at best. Yeah, I like that. Well, maybe drop the east first. It doesn't really matter either way. It's very close. It's all fine. Yep, no problem. Okay, so here we're drawing closer to Tenpai, so we probably want to get rid of this south wind and try to hedge as hard as we can on getting a good weight, which we do. So now we have a lot of Sozu draws to make Tenpai, and this opens it up a bit more. We do have to watch out for this furry 10 here, though. Something to keep in mind. But if we draw the 6, we can be waiting on the Dora, too. Ooh, that's always awkward. So, I hate reaching this sort of shape, but I think the book says that we are supposed to here. God, and that 2 discard is just so bad on timing. Is what it is, though. Yeah, so book says reach this. I don't really see a reason not to. We don't really have many value upgrades, but he's going to reject the Tenpai and go for something else here. And that is one that's very close, according to the book. And there's the Dora Tenpai. Whoa, what? Hold on. That one I don't get. I feel like that's just... Oh, there's 2 6s out. I see. See, this is just awkward, though, because if you're not reaching that, what are you going to reach with this hand? What are you doing with this hand? That's where, like, the long-term game plan is very important here, right? So, if we had Riichi'd waiting on the 4, we would have drawn it, right? Or we would have gotten it, yeah. So we would have Riichi'd here, and if player is still push, we'd have rolled right there instead. But yeah, now it's just awkward because we don't have any really good draws to Tenpai. Like, yeah, we can draw 6, so we can draw the 4 mon, I guess, but we are heavily cutting down our options very quickly here. And there's the Tenpai, but we have to drop a Dora for it. I'm probably dropping the North Wind here. Yeah. Okay. So we have no other Yaku, Riichi, but has no value either. We failed to integrate the Dora. There's nothing we could do to really make that happen. We weren't able to find anything else either. Let me go back a little bit here. So, right here, discarding this 2 is fine. So the 3's unlucky, but like I said, book says to Riichi here. The new book anyway. A lot of the older books will say Dama that. And I almost like just reaching this anyway, because if we knock a Suji on the 6, it's gonna come out for sure. We have a near Kabe on the 2s. Yeah, I think I just like that Riichi better, but... Okay, we do end up getting it anyway, though. So it is Riichi only. Wouldn't have gotten any Ura. So probably not a huge difference in points there compared to what we would have gotten. But it does work out for us here. Alright, and finally we get a decent starting hand. It's at least pretty advanced. We want the Paifu here for sure. So because of that, I'm more likely to discard the Red Dragon here. It's not super likely that this 9 becomes anything good, but it could become an Ipeko still. So to me, the 9-pin has better value proposition than this Red Dragon does. Yep. And potential for Itsu. And we have someone calling a quick Yakuhai. Unfortunate. Ooh, which one do we drop here? Does it matter? Yeah, we dropped the 7-so here. Good. Reason for that is Sanshoku, for those of you that might have missed it. We do probably hold this 6 over the 3-so. Good. Good, good, good. Oh, that just sucks, though. So your first mistake here is drawing worse tiles. You should just draw better tiles sometimes. It makes it a lot easier. Yeah. So we're still hedging for the Itsu with this play. So I think that's fine. I don't really see any reason to do anything else here. Having consecutive pairs like this is just always so awkward. Like, I guess the other thing we could be doing here, so this does cut off our line to Dora, right? So the other option is discard the Sanmon or the Roundmon. Yeah, so I think I like the Sanman discard more because it always sucks to have this efficiency cut off by having two of the same round men effectively. But keeping the 6, if we discard the 3, we can always make our pair this 2 here while integrating the Dora, versus now if we draw the Dora, we can't really do much with it. So something to keep it out for. Anytime you can keep an opportunity open to integrate the Dora like that, it's usually worth going for. It's definitely a lot more likely that we get a Dora than we do the Ipeko from this shape. And just a fast hand on a right here and a Riichi across the board. Jeez. Okay. So not gonna matter here. Yep, just another quick hand. Okay, another pretty advanced one here. Yep. So we are Ishan 10 already, and that's a good tempo. Like, we take that. Oh. I don't mind this. Okay, yeah, I see this. So with the position we're at in this game, I think my online instincts might have been kicking in a little bit. So if we Riichi that hand, we are almost certain to win it, right? But it's not much value. So if we're going for the longer league position, I do like this. So it's Pinfu Tanyao, maybe Ipeko, if we get very lucky, as opposed to just Riichi. And we hit Tenpai right away, so we reach this for sure, yeah. 5,200 point hand, and we immediately get conned into. So I'm going to speed this up. There's no choices for us at this point. We do have a Nakasuji out there that isn't going to come through by the look of it. Yeah. Not too much else we could have done there, I don't think. Like, I think that was the right play and everything. It just did not work out. Yeah. We're lucky it wasn't us dealing in, but now we are down a little bit here. We do have a hand with an Ipeko chance, so that's nice. So I'm probably starting with the 6-0 discard. That feels weird. Now the 5-pin discard is probably better. I don't mind Red Dragon either. Yeah, okay. So Ipeko's kind of, or not Ipeko, Sanshoku's kind of off the table. Yeah, Sanshoku is very off the table. We are progressing nicely. Okay. So here we're just playing for pure efficiency, trying to get the Riichi down before anything else can happen. So that's fine here. Yeah, and that's a good shape Riichi too, so we definitely take that. We don't wait for Sanshoku here. It's not worth it. So this is completely fine, and naturally we get summoned right away. So really unfortunate situation we end up in last here. So I don't really see another line there though. So I mentioned a couple things there, like a couple different opportunities to build value, integrate Dora. Those are all very important, especially in Akanashi games like this. If you don't have the red 5s, it can cause really big problems for value. It makes the value a lot harder to pick up, like this player was saying at the very beginning here. So definitely something to keep an eye out for, just those kind of little opportunities. But overall, I feel like you didn't play too badly. Just a few things to work on. Thanks for sending in the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.